Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Testing 1, 2, 3. Call public hearing to order. Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess? Here. Jones? Here. Myers? Here. Hicks? Washington? Motion passed. Williams Bay? Here.
All right, moving into item number 2, National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System, which is also known as the NPDES. We've got Jim Zarnick here. It seems like his first mic is not working. All right.
Test.
So we're going to turn it over to Jim, and he can.
Okay, this is our annual NPDES public hearing. We have to have it every year. It basically describes what the purpose of the stormwater permit is for the village, and what we have done in this past year and what we're continuing to do. So, this is required by the Illinois Environmental Protection Agency in accord with the village's notice of intent for the Illinois General Permit ILR 40. The permit is performed on a 5-year cycle. The next NOI is due by October 1st, 2020 for the new permit cycle beginning in 2021. All right, so this permit is valid for municipal separate storm sewer communities like Sauk Village. And the goal is to eliminate pollutants from entering storm sewer or detention ponds and depositing into rivers, lakes, creeks, which are the ultimate outlet points. And for Sauk Village, these would be the Lansing Drainage Ditch and Deer Creek. Next, I'll talk about the 6 required minimum control measures, or MCMs. The first is public education and outreach. So what the village has done to inform the public is to post the annual report to the village's website, and a pollution prevention flyer was posted to the village's website, was printed in the Sauk Talk, and was posted to the bulletin board in Village Hall right out here. As a reminder to the public, please do not dump oil, paint, or other chemicals down the sewer, and also clean up after your dogs in your yard and parks. The second minimum control measure is public involvement and participation, and this public hearing is an example of that. The village welcomes public involvement, so call Public Works if you notice any spills in the village's streams. And Sauk Village hosted a community cleanup day on May 21st, 2016 to clean up around the village buildings and public right-of-ways. The third control measure is illicit discharge detection and elimination. The village has an ordinance that it uses to address illegal discharges to the village's waterways. Public Works has identified all outfalls within the village. The village maintains an up-to-date sewer atlas that indicates all the outfalls, and the village's goal is to inspect 20% of the outfalls on an annual basis. The fourth control measure is control of construction site stormwater runoff. The village has an erosion control ordinance in place to address construction site stormwater runoff. Developers are required to provide a stormwater pollution prevention plan which addresses how to prevent erosion at construction sites. Developers are required to inspect their sites weekly during construction and after rain events. The fifth control measure is post-construction stormwater management. The village has a post-construction ordinance in place to address long-term control of stormwater pollution from newly developed sites. Final inspections are required before the developer can leave the site. Detention is required for all developments in the village. And detention ponds and other post-construction measures filter out sediments prior to the sediments being released to the environment. And the last control measure is pollution prevention and good housekeeping. The village conducts street sweeping, branch pickup, and leaf collection periodically throughout the year. The village's goal is to clean 20% of the village's catch basins per year to prevent the collected material from reaching the village's waterways. The village requests the public's help in inspecting inlets and catch basins and keeping them clear of debris. Robinson Engineering or village staff will develop a municipal operations program and stormwater management program for stormwater best management practices. Okay, so our annual activities moving forward. An annual report is made to the IEPA each year by June 1st. Ordinances and the Storm Sewer Atlas are reviewed yearly. Public Works will conduct in-house training for good housekeeping practices. Public Works will mow and remove litter from detention ponds. Public Works is participating in a watershed group organized to implement control measures that will reduce chloride contamination in the watershed's receiving streams. And Robinson Engineering will ensure that developments comply with stormwater ordinances and floodplain regulations. So that is all of my presentation in regard to the annual report. And now, if you wouldn't mind opening the floor to questions from the board or the public.
Jim, did you say that all builders will be required to either install a retention or a detention pond?
Not necessarily. New developments over a certain size are required to have detention measures. With the changes that have gone through recently in MWRD's ordinance, that could either be a detention pond or it could be permeable pavers, something that would allow stormwater to infiltrate into the ground. You can also have underground detention as well.
Next question. Now, is the Lincoln Lansing Drainage Corporation, are they still in existence? Nobody's touched that ditch in almost 7-8 years I know of. I mean, are they still in existence, or is does this proposal also make sure they will maintain the ditch?
My understanding is they are still in existence. My understanding is that there's still a fee that's collected from the residents.
Yeah, I pay them every year, yeah.
Yeah, so I can't speak to what they're doing and what we're doing with the village's stormwater permit. Really, we don't have jurisdiction over them. So,
is that something that our engineering department could look into to find out what they plan to do with that thing, if I get the consensus of the board?
absolutely.
The ditch is getting overran. I mean, it's getting bad, it's filling back up, and I know the last heavy rain we had, it came to the top. So, and I don't want my backyard to flood.
I know many years ago there was a ditch cleaning that was done, but that was many years ago. So we can make some inquiries and see if they have a plan.
Mr. Mayor, what would I have to do to ask the consensus of the board to have our engineering firm to look into Lincoln Lansing Drainage Corporation to look at that ditch and take care of it as citizen bill? Say, well, you know how that is out by you.
Not by me, it's not bad. We take care of our ditch.
Come over to my house, I'll show you where it's at.
So, yeah, I think what we'll do is, rather than have the engineering company take a look at it, we'll reach out to them. Let's do a letter from the mayor's office first. They know that the village was maintaining the ditch. In fact, years ago, we bought mowing equipment to take care of that. And then what they did was they did about once or twice a year. So,
I thought a few years, more than a few years, that their corporation took over the control, and we did purchase a mowing machine. I actually saw it in use and everything, but that's been back a few years, way back. But then I thought they took over.
Their corporation consists of being out of a house over in, I think it's Will County.
Linwood Estates, or the back part of the barn, and they have an office over there. They still have 2 members. So I was introduced to both members the other day when we had a fire over there and illegal burning. And both of those members said, I am a member of the Lincoln Lansing Drainage ditch corporation, and we give this person rights to burn all the dead leaves and stuff out of this ditch. I said, yeah, but you don't give them the rights to dump in this ditch.
All right. So what we'll do is we'll get a letter put together, we'll send out to them, and then if we don't get no response, and I don't know what the engineering company can do, other than the same thing that we'll do is by sending a letter, because that's all you're going to do is you'll send a letter out to them, correct?
Yes. Yes, and maybe make phone calls and inquiries. That's
Yeah, let's go for the mayor's office first.
Thank you.
So, 3W, if you can make sure I have a letter, we'll get that sent out. If you can have that letter on my desk by tomorrow, we'll get it sent out before the end of the week. Any other questions from the board? Trustee Tate?
Question. You were mentioning that for new developers, they have to establish a detention pond or some device for drainage. Whose responsibility does it become to maintain that ditch, drainage, whatever it is? Whose responsibility is that?
That's a great question. Actually, with the revised ordinance that came out a few years ago from the MWRD, the developer is required to develop a long-term maintenance plan for the care of that pond. So that has to be established up front, and it has to be approved by the village. So, maybe it's like a homeowners association that would have to take care of it. Maybe it gets turned over to the village and it's the village's responsibility, but that's laid out ahead of time before the development is approved.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, we'll have you move away from the podium, just in case we have any questions from the audience. Maybe you come up here in case someone has some questions. We'll move it now to the audience. So is there any questions from the public? All right, seeing none, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. We got a motion, is there a second? We got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. All right, we're going to recess. I got to run out of recess. We will start the next meeting probably in the next 5 minutes. If anyone has to take care of anything, I have to go get something in the office anyway.
Here.
Jones? Here. Myers? Here. State? Washington House? Here.
Mr. Mayor.
All right. Trustee Burgess.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion, Mr. Mayor, at this time to suspend the rules and to go into the executive session for personnel and litigation.
I got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess?
Yes.
Jones?
Yes.
Myers? State?
Yes.
Washington House? Yes. Williams Bay? Yes.
All right. Motion passes. We'll be in the executive session. Ask for a motion to reconvene. Yeah, motion. Is there a second? Village clerk, please call roll.
Burgess? Yes. Jones? Yes. Myers? State? Washington House? Yes. Williams Bay? Yes.
All right. Move to item number 2. Public comment. All questions and comments will be directed to the mayor. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes to comment. Each speaker will be allowed 1 opportunity to speak. Anyone? Going once, going twice. So, all right. Reports of departments, committees, and commissions. I know the fire chief is not here. I don't know if
Actually, the report from
I think Trustee Myers should give it. Trustee Myers should give it.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Chief said he's still under the weather. He asked me to give his report. Over the past 2 weeks, the fire department responded to 15 calls. Fire department, we had 3 ambulance calls, assist PD, 4 fire alarms, 3 lift assist, 1 wires down, 1 gas leak, 2 vehicle accidents, and a furnace check. And that developed into a ambulance call, which involved blood and so forth. The department, the guys are still training on the new engine. The chief is looking at by March 20th, all our firefighters will be fully knowledgeable on our newest engine, and it will be put in operation. That's all I have. Thank you, sir.
Actually, Mayor, he did send an additional report.
Okay.
Chief Stofford said that he will have a crew in the station tonight due to a possible wind chill factor of -3. So when that happens and we have extremely cold temperatures, Chief Stofford does open up the fire station. So it will be manned overnight. If you know anybody who's homeless, or if you're, for whatever reason, your electricity goes out, your furnace isn't working, you do have the fire station as a warming center. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Move to Police Department, Chief Kowalski.
Mr. Mayor, trustees, for the past 2 weeks, the police responded to over 540 calls for service and had 23 arrests. Case of note, on March 10th, Sauk Village Police, along with the South Suburban Emergency Response Team, executed a search warrant on the 1800 block of East 218th Place. After CERT secured the scene, a search of the resident took place with K-9 Falco. Drug contraband was recovered, and the individuals living in the residence were charged accordingly. On March 2nd, while I attended the Bloom Trail High School Safety Committee meeting, I received 4 letters of appreciation from the Bloom Trail truancy officer. The letters of appreciation were for the assistance provided to the truancy officer by Sergeant Mizak, Officer Huffnagel, Officer White, and Officer Morris. And I'd like to read one of the letters. It says, "Dear Chief Kowalski, I would like to take the opportunity to express my gratitude and appreciation for the assistance from Officer Morris and for his benevolent service displayed by assisting me on truancy home visits. As a first-year truancy officer at Bloom Trail High School, I quickly learned the high demand of the Sauk Village Police Department, and I am truly thankful being able to work with them in between calls, as well as for such a supportive and knowledgeable officer. I would like to recognize Officer Morris from the Sauk Village Police Department, who assisted me on home visits, finding addresses when I needed help, escorting me to homes, bringing a student to school, teaching me the technological savviness, filing complaints for truancy, and protecting and keeping me safe when an incident occurred in September. Without his assistance, I would not be able to reduce the truancy rate at the Bloom Trail High School. Officer Morris is an outstanding professional who displays commendable service. Officer Morris is an honorable employee who is an asset to the Sauk Village Police Department and to the law enforcement profession." And I have 3 other letters very similar to that I'll provide to village clerk for Sauk Talk. Thank you, and that's the end of my report.
Thank you, Chief. Chief, I didn't know that your last name was so popular. I met with a supplier last week. His name was Bob Kowalski. I was sitting in a hotel, and I was kind of bored, so I watched Fantastic Beast or something, one of the new movies out. There's a Kowalski on there. I didn't realize it until the end of the show. I see the name across the truck, so I didn't know he had such a popular name, Kowalski. So I did ask him if he was related to you. He said no. But he said in Kowalski is like a common name like Smith. So, all right, it's good to know. All right, move to reports of officers, mayor's report. First of all, I'd like to say that over the weekend we lost a former ESDA employee, Robert Unruh, passed away. I went to the wake this afternoon. His funeral was tonight at 7 o'clock, so while we're here, they're having the funeral. So our condolences go out to the Unruh family. And after that, I have the opening of the bids. Did we receive any sanitary sewer cleaning bids? None?
None came to me? No? I thought they went to you. I didn't get any. No,
The village did not receive any.
Everybody's checked their boxes today? Wow. Mayor, village manager, I got none.
I received none.
Okay.
So, you want to send it back out again, or
Yeah.
no one wants to clean our sewers, I guess?
Do we send them all back out again, or what's?
Well, I have engineers.
Yeah, so there's, we contact the companies who do this type of work and tell them that this project is available, and typically we get a good response. So I didn't even check with the village because that's their problem.
Who knows, maybe tomorrow we'll receive a bunch of them.
They feel like, so.
Let's hope they didn't get held up in the bad weather, right? All right, move to village clerk, Ms. W. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I'd like to say that March 12th, the village turned 60. That's the 60th anniversary of Sauk Village. That's when the village was actually incorporated. And we will be celebrating the 60th anniversary with events throughout the upcoming several months, which Trustee Williams will talk about under public relations. And second of all, I'd like to announce that we are having our program for the Cook County Recorders of Deeds Property After Death Workshop. It's also going to include property fraud. There will be some information for the veterans as well. And this year, they're presenting this presentation as a bilingual presentation. So I received the flyer that's in Spanish. So this was circulated on the e-blast, both in English and in Spanish. And we need you to please contact the people in your community that can benefit from this, because as we all know, even if you have a will or some way to protect yourself from your people, causing fraud against your home, there's other ways that people have to get your home. So this is a very, very informative workshop that I highly recommend that everybody attend. And also we have the What's Happening on the back table. We have the Comcast Cares Day. I'm accepting waivers from everybody who'd like to participate. There is a need in the village to do some cleanup, and we'd like to see who wants to participate and volunteer in that effort. In order to volunteer on April 22nd for Comcast Cares Cleanup Day, you do have to fill out a waiver. That Comcast requires that. They provide the gloves, the t-shirts, and they provide breakfast and lunch, if that's not an incentive. 7:30 in the morning until 1:30 in the afternoon. The village is identifying 5 spots that we would like to clean up. We have several other things going on. We have the corned beef and cabbage dinner at the Crossroads Church, which is this Friday from 4 to 7. They recommend that everybody contact the church or me by tomorrow so that we can have enough dinners for everybody. $7 for seniors and $9 for other adults and children. It's a great dinner, including fresh soda bread and desserts, and we'd like to welcome everybody to participate in that. And lastly, or 2 things, the other thing as far as the draft minutes that were presented to the board last week, there was a couple questions I had for the police chief and the village manager. So if you'll notice, I submitted the draft to you again with changes to those 2 reports. That's why it's still considered a draft until it's approved by the board. And those changes were the only changes that were made from the last week's meeting. So if you wouldn't mind approving the draft as the one I presented you today, that will be the final draft that will be filed away. And lastly, a resident that's not here today came last week and talked about a situation with her emergency sticker identification program. She was under the impression that I didn't handle the program properly. I assured her that I did, and I followed up with CalCom the very next day. And when I called CalCom, they said that there was an issue with that particular email address that they were using at one time that they no longer use. They accepted the responsibility for not getting that application accepted. All the other applications that were turned in were accepted and filed, and supposedly all of the stickers were received by those individuals. I asked her to please contact every single individual and make sure that there's no one else that had an issue. She identified the problem with this particular resident. She took care of the problem. That sticker should be in the mail today. The only thing I don't understand is why that resident waited 6 months to tell me that there was a problem. When they brought it to my attention back in October, the very next day, I called Calcom and I told them that there was a situation, and they told me they would handle it immediately. I can only assume that when somebody tells me they're going to handle something, that it's handled unless somebody comes back to me and tells me that there's a situation. Now, this is March, and in a week, hopefully, they will have received that sticker because we all followed up and did what we were supposed to do. I just want all the residents to know that I'm here for you. If you have a situation, if you have a need, please feel free. Contact me, call me, email me, leave me a message at the front desk. This is my job to take care of everybody in Sauk Village. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. That's the end of my report.
Thank you. Move to Village Administrator, Director of Public Safety, J.W. Kerber Jr.
Mr. Mayor and Board of Trustees, my report goes as follows. I have received quite a few complaints from residents, rightfully so, about the number of street lights being out here in Sauk Village. And I have gone ahead and had the police department check out the number of street lights that he found out, and there was 58 street lights. I mean, some people were quite upset, and I could understand that. And we have a meeting scheduled tomorrow with our representative, Ms. Lisa Asparti, I think that's the correct spelling of her name, and with one of her engineers to come out here so that me, myself, and Kevin Weller can sit down with her and do two things: figure out what they need to do on ComEd's side to fix all these lights, and also fix their part of the problem, and also we can then go back and make sure the lights are on. It's a pretty serious problem. It will also give us the opportunity, because Ms. Asparti informed me that there had not been any reported repairs, so I don't know if there was any problems with the system, and she's going to bring her representative out here, but I want the residents to know that that has been a problem, and people have been a little hostile, and I could understand that, and that's what's going on. I think that's important. Second thing is that it has been reported to me that the front doors of Village Hall have been left open, primarily the east and west main entrances. And I had the village's IT person review the tapes of the after-hour time periods, and he found that no one compromised the door. He suggested, and it appears that it may be just a change in the daylight saving time that may have caused this. The police department, I've contacted them, and they will periodically check this building to make sure that the doors are properly secured. We were doing that. One day we didn't, and we actually, this came up and got people hysterical. I understand that. The next thing is, on the budget, we have a judge has ruled in the Henrietta Turner versus Sauk Village case and instruct the village to budget $101,000 in the 2017 and 2018 budget for this litigation. The other thing, for the sake of transparency and to cut down rumors, there's a federal inspector general in this village, and the FBI have been interviewing Sauk Village employees in regards to an ongoing investigation as recently as this week. I am not at liberty to discuss, nor do I know the details of this case. I just want everybody to know so that you don't have to hear it and wonder if that's true. That's what's going on. Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. Move to Trustee Burgess.
Mr. Fairman, it was kind of quick. You said that we should budget $107,000 for litigation for that particular case?
The letter we got back from our lawyer said that this is what the judge, I guess Ms. Turner apparently won her case, and then they filed an appeal, and the appeal says, okay, you can pay us so much money, and the judge said, and I've seen this, I think I sent it out to most trustees, this letter that says you have to budget $101,000. In other words, they want to put 1.5 times whatever you pay her, which would end up being $101,000. That's what they've instructed this village to do.
Okay, you say you sent it out. Could you put one in my box? I didn't get that. I would have asked about that, and I didn't get that. So if you could put one of those in there, I've got no problem. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I've had, I send things out, and I'm not saying the trustees not have, but I don't know what's going on with our system. But, if I send them out officially to all the villages and they're not getting them, I guess we'll have to just put them in the box in addition to that. That's the only thing I can think of.
Put hard copies. Trustee Tate.
Mr. Fairman, I'm glad you brought up the doors being left unsecured. Have the new key fob been activated yet?
Yes, they have.
Okay, I didn't see notification that they were working them or how to use them or anything like that.
Did Mr. Weller give you a key? If not, then I will.
No.
I will make sure he gets the.
No. I received the key fob itself.
Okay.
With your letter.
Okay.
That you sent out that told us that it wasn't active.
Right. Okay.
But it says that it will be notified when it is active, and I had not received notification, so I don't.
Well, I'll take that. I thought Mr. Weller did that. Then I'll take that.
Okay.
Okay. What can I do to resolve it?
Could you talk to me for a couple of minutes on how to use this thing?
Yes, sir. Right after.
After me.
Yes.
Thank you.
I asked for Kevin to put out a instruction sheet, just like we did when we had the last one. Right. I think it's important because these are a little bit different, because we had problems when they first were activated, opening and closing the doors.
So I'll talk to you about it. I have to make sure we have to make an appointment so he can make sure that I'm telling him what's right too.
For us to get in the back door, it's just easy, just swipe right over the keypad. But for opening the front door and locking the front door, it's a different.
That was a concern. In terms of you getting in and out of the building in the back, it's easy for me to show you, but to open and lock the door, if you guys have meetings, that's a whole different ballgame.
Right. So,
right.
follow with Kevin, find out where he's at on instructions, if you would. There you go. Is there someone else? All right, hearing none, we'll move to reports of trustees, board committees. Senior committee, I have a lengthy report. How much does I have to skip? Rose is in here, right? All right, let's see here. Reminder, Bloom Township Senior Community Lunch Program Luncheon, Hula Hula, is tomorrow, Wednesday, March 15th, at the Siberian Social Center, located on Stony Island in Lansing. Tickets for the Tuesday, April 11th luncheon, that will be the last luncheon for the season, with Incognigos, will go on sale at the luncheon. Senior Department is taking appointments for AARP tax preparation. Openings are still available for several trips again this year. Call 708-754-9400 for appointments and or information. Affordable transportation is available within the township. You can call 708-754-8200. A couple of days prior to an event, there is no charge to the community luncheon Golden Agers meeting at the Jones Memorial Community Center tomorrow. Also, it's March 15th. That's in Chicago Heights. Social hours at 10 a.m. to 10:30 meeting, and lunch will be served at 11:30 a.m. Golden Agers will be donating a themed basket of chocolates for the Brotherhood Banquet. Funds raised from the raffle will benefit scholarship $1,000 each for high school seniors at Bloom or Bloom Trail. Lunch reservations, call 708-757-5395. The annual dues are $5 and the lunch is $5. Age Options and South Suburban Senior Services Catholic Charities will be holding a fraud prevention fair this Friday, March 17th, from 10 to 12 at the Josephine P. Argonato, I know I'm saying that wrong, sorry, Senior Center. That's in Calumet City. Bring your own Medicare summary notices or other personal documents to be shredded. A secure drop box will be on site, and it looks like there'll be fraud bingo will be played. All seniors 50 plus, regardless of your residency, are welcome to attend every Friday from 12:30 to 3:30. Senior open activities. There's bottled water, light refreshments are available. Rummikub is the game of popular with the attendees. However, there's other games. And Saturday, the next Saturday event, it will be March 25th. It happens every fourth Saturday at 5 p.m. Doors will open at 4 p.m. Participants are asked to bring appetizers or finger food to share. Let's see here. The Fun Club Candidates Forum will be Saturday, March 25th. Doors are open at noon. There should be flyers out there available. So, wish all you candidates good luck in that. I don't have to do it this year. Space is still open for the chili. Looking for chefs to volunteer for the 9th annual chili cook-off. That's going to be this Saturday, March the 18th. You got just flyers out there floating around too, if you see any flyers. See here, the senior committee meets the second Thursday at 7 p.m. in the senior center. That ends the senior report. Move to Parks and Recs, trustee Calvin Jones.
Open gym will be March 25th from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We will be stuffing the Easter eggs and making preparation for the Easter egg hunt on Good Friday. That's April 14th, starting at 9:30 in the morning until completion. Easter egg hunt will be on the 15th of April, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And the 29th of April, summer camp registration, and that will be an open gym that day too. Summer camp registration and orientation, starting at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And right after that, open gym starts at 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Mr. Fairman, just want to go over something once again about the installation of the floor tile. And I just haven't gotten a date, and we've been pushing this around over a year now.
So you got a date?
No,
You haven't?
still haven't gotten a date, and nothing has been started. And do we have any plans to do anything with updating the detention pond? Are we going to drain it? Are we going to fix it? Are we going to maintain it?
About a detention pond, well, we're gonna put some kind of fence around it. Now, you know, I don't, there's supposed to be some bids come out, I haven't heard anything else. It was debatable about whether that picket fence or snow fence was good enough. So it's up to the board to decide if that's what you're gonna do with it. That's the only way I can answer that question. The board decides that they want a fence up, the mayor, and the fence goes up.
Or fix it so it drains?
We know where the issue is. It's right over here behind the old Sigma. Yep, they smashed the drain tiles going through. So,
Trustee Jones.
maybe you can get with Kevin to see where we're at on that. If we have to get the attorneys involved, I guess we'll have to get them involved. We have 2 detention ponds currently that have been altered off our site. So what you have is you have the detention pond back here, and it's been altered next door where they added a new parking lot, and all the drain tiles and everything that go through have been smashed. They were in communications with them, which is going to require them to dig up their whole entire parking lot to replace everything. We have another detention pond, which is over on Murphy Avenue, that a farmer over on Burnham Avenue went over the drain tiles to add roads for his tractors to get out in the field. When he did, he smashed everything. So the detention pond over on Murphy Avenue fills up just like this one here does. That one there is out of city limits. This one here is in city limits. We've gone to Cook County to try to get them involved because that's an unincorporated Cook. On this one here, I don't know where we're at on this one. I do know what the problem is, and I do know where it's at.
I seen Public Work doing some work to the sewage over there coming from Murphy, the detention pond, and then I say maybe 2 weeks later that water was gone.
Yeah, we did a little bit of mowing back there, and maybe they've already worked out, maybe the county got the farmer to fix it back the way it was supposed to be. But I'll follow up on that one too. But maybe, Ed, I'm sorry, Jim, if you can follow up with Kevin on this one, find out where we're at on this. If we have to get the attorneys involved, please let me know.
Trustee Jones, I believe the statement that our village engineer made tonight, similar to that whoever puts the retention or detention pond in must fully maintain that. If it's our detention pond, then aren't we liable to maintain that fully?
It's certainly true, but like the mayor said, this is an off-site problem. There's nothing physically wrong with the pond on the village's property. It's what the pond drains into. I had forwarded a number of legal documents, regulations to Kevin previously to pass on to Sigma, and notifying them that it is their responsibility to make sure that those pipes are intact to convey that drainage that's coming from village property to their property. It's their responsibility.
So you have sent forward that paperwork to them, or you will?
I sent it to Kevin, so I'll follow up with him to make sure that he's followed up with Sigma, and maybe they just ignored the village, and then we need to move it forward.
Yeah, it may require a letter from our attorneys, but let's find out for sure where we're at. If you can just keep me up on that, I appreciate it.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee. Move to Public Works, trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a schedule here from the Public Works Department for this summer and spring, summer, and fall for the program that they will be doing throughout the village. And if you need copies after I get through with this, I can get them for each and every resident that may need it. The street sweeping schedule for 2017 will be as follows. The week beginning April 10th, May 8th, June 12th, July 10th, and August 7th, September 11th, and October 9th. The sweeping of the month of November will follow our leaf pickup program. If additional sweepings are needed, notification will be posted on the marquee located at the corner of Sauk Trail and Cornell Avenue. Hydrant flushing. Hydrant flushing will be flushed in the following sections of town on specific dates in 2017. April 4th, south side of town, as south to Sauk Trail, west to Torrance, extending all the way to Deer Creek. May 2nd, the north side of town, north to Sauk Trail, extending to Carlisle Estates. June 6th, the eastern section of town, located east of Torrance and south of Sauk Trail. July 11th, the south side of town, south to Sauk Trail and west of Torrance Avenue, all the way to Deer Creek. And August 8th, north side of town, north to Sauk Trail, extending to Carlisle Estates. September 5th, eastern section of town, located east of Torrance Avenue and Sauk Trail. And October 3rd, south side of town, south to Sauk Trail and west of Torrance Avenue, extended to Deer Creek. So these, I know it's confusing, but I just wanted to put it in. And also, like I stated before, I can get you copies. But there's something that you should understand. The actual flushing will begin at 11 o'clock at night, the previous night, continuing through the morning until the area has been completed to lessen any complaints. Residents should refrain from washing whites during flushing for at least 24 to 48 hours after the flushing. Okay. Tree limb pickup. For the first pickup of 2017, it will begin Monday, May 1st, and end Friday, May 12th. Residents are asked to have limbs out no later than Sunday, May 7th. The second and final pickup of 2017 will begin Monday, September 4th, and end on Friday, September 15th. Residents are asked to have those limbs out no later than Sunday, September 10th. Remember to bundle small branches and to stack branches neatly in the same direction as this speeds up the tree limb pickup. There will be no branch pickup after these dates, no exceptions. The leaf sweep program. The leaf pickup program will begin November 6th through the 10th, skipping the week of the 13th and through the 17th. Residents can put leaves out up to November 19th. Our final pickup will be November 20th, and crews will be out to pick up each section on garbage day. They will not come back after this pass. And it says village ordinance prohibits the parking of streets, which everyone I'm sure knows, prohibits the parking on the streets between the hours of 7 and 3:30 during the day of your garbage pickup. Now, if we have a storm, if we have high winds, they will come out after that is over with, and that's an emergency pickup, and they will take care of that. So if we just had one and they were out for that. If you have any complaints, please call Village Hall. You can either get my email or you can call Village Hall, leave a message with someone at Village Hall in regards to any of these different activities. And as I stated before, anyone that wants a copy, I will have these available right after the meeting. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Housing and Government Committee, Trustee Tates.
We had a meeting on the 8th for both committees. And as of right now, we have 4 tentative dates to have the Housing Committee workshop, which we did a couple of years ago now. And we just need to decide on the soonest available date and then start publicizing it to get residents or potential residents to come in for the workshop and receive the information if they want to become homeowners. So we have 4 tentative dates, and we just need to narrow that down and find out which is the earliest date that we can get this workshop done, because we really would like to get it done before the summer starts, so people can move into their homes during the summer months. And we don't know how long the process is going to take for each resident, but we at least like to get them the information, and they can start applying to participate in the program. The IGRC committee also met, and what we're still trying to do is get communities to sort of open up and tell us what programs or activities, particularly more so programs, they have available to the residents. We were directed to talk to the P.A.C. bus company to talk to them about altering routes somewhat that will be beneficial to Sauk Village, residents who do not drive, but who may need to go into Chicago Heights, even Fort Heights, Linwood, which are communities that are close to us. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out, but that's something that we want to do, is try to reach out to the people and see if they're willing to work with us, discuss with us what they want to do for the village, what the village can do to assist them in their ridership and pace. That's what we're talking about right now. So we're going to still work those issues of intergovernmental relationships with other communities to try to get their input and their support when necessary to move programs that benefit Sauk Village residents. We've been talking to Fort Heights, who had a job fair, as you may recall, I guess about 1.5 years ago, and some Sauk Village residents actually had to walk back and forth because there was no direct bus route. So that's why we targeted P.A.C. to talk to them and see if we can do something to benefit our residents who do not drive, who have to travel to these other communities. As soon as I get a firm date on the housing part, I'm backing up a little bit. As soon as I get a firm date on the housing workshop, I'll let everyone know, and we'll probably do some publicizing of that to make sure we have as many attendees as we possibly can. That's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. You move to
Mr. Mayor,
Trustee.
point of information, Trustee Burgess, that schedule you have about public work, I had talked to the clerk about it so that it will be on the village's website as well as what you passed out tonight.
It's already on the website.
It is?
And I told the village clerk to make sure we hang it in the back also. So it's supposed to. All right, move to Public Safety Ordinance Review Committee, Trustee Myers.
Couple of things tonight. First of all, last Friday night, we had a neighborhood watch play and outing, and it was very good, very well attended. The people we had to come out and it was good. Young Mr. Jackson did a fantastic job. We had some dynamite groups in there singing. It all went well. And all about is come out, see your neighbors, take some relaxation, and just be yourself one night. and we had quite a few people come out and turn it. The other thing is the ordinance committee is asking for members for the committee. If you're interested, please see me or call me on my cell phone or send me an email. I'd be glad to get with you. The other committee I sat on is the debt recovery committee. It's working well. When we get to a point where people's not paying their bills anymore, we're sending them over to the state auditor and controller, and the controller sent them a letter, as I explained a couple weeks ago, and asked them to make arrangements, or the state will step in. Last week, there was, I think it was Mrs. Clark that asked about the firehouses. I did contact the Illinois State Fire Marshal, and as of Friday, he does not have any holes on any of the houses. He had 2 of them. The State Fire Marshal does not have a hole in any of them. I talked to our village attorney. They took 2 of the homes into court, and as of April 1st, we will receive the one on Peterson. We'll receive a court order that we can go in there and take that building down. And the other one's on 2/17, I believe it was. May should be the date that they're looking at. We'll be able to move in there and take that one down. The one on Peterson was in probate, and we had to work through the entire court system, and finally we got a reply back from the judge and the state's attorney. So it looks like that we are moving things. It's just take a little bit. We don't have the names of these people. Since then, I've working with our housing commissioners and stuff. We're getting names of banks that have some of these vacant, abandoned houses. And once we get that bank, we'll notify them and turn it over to our law firm and proceed. These houses are no good. I mean, they're burned 3/4 of the way down, and all they are is hazardous. And we spent thousands of dollars on fixing the wood up for 9 months, and we still wasn't able to track down the owner. Now we do have it, so we're back on the move. And I want to thank Mrs. Clark to bringing that back up to our attention, and our attorney is working on it. With that, that's all I have, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee. Move to Neighborhood Watch Committee, Trustee Washington House.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, I just want to thank everybody, piggybacking off of my co-chair, Trustee Ed Myers, that attended on behalf of Neighborhood Watch the Unity in the Community concert. We had a great and awesome time. I'm just getting my voice back literally from the concert Friday. We had such a great time with everybody that came out. I want to thank the village clerk, Debbie Williams, for coming out and participating with Unity in the Community concert. I'm telling you, we had such a range of entertainment. I can't remember everybody's name. It would be remiss of me to leave anybody off, but I just want to thank Commissioner Latanya West that came and she sang, and Willie the Entertainer, of course, was our special guest. He was absolutely spectacular. The champ troop dancers from Strasburg School had came with Miss Beavers, and Daryl King is just a phenomenal host. We had a great time. She gave all of the firemen that was there great compliments. She was like, Myers, and all the firemen was bowing and smiling. So, I mean, she is hilarious and serious at the same time. So, at the end, when Willie the Entertainer was out and he was doing his Michael Jackson impersonation and Bruno Mars songs, the young people were all around the stage and singing with him, and then he called them up on the stage with him, and our other group, Enrique and the other guys that were with him. And then we had the mimes and the guys that participated from Bloom Trail and Holy Praise Church. I just can't remember everybody that was on the program, but it was phenomenal. And I just want to thank all of those that came out. Unity was definitely expressed at the concert. It was a great time. I had to even appreciate my co-chair. He came out the audience at the end and came up there and stood by me, and we was rocking and clapping and holding hands. He was like, "This is great." I'm like, "Yes, it is." So it was a great success. I want to thank all of those that contributed with the program and helped at the my staff, just phenomenal. President Arlene Stevens and Rachel and just all of those that came on board to make that reception at the community center. Thank you for your cooperation, Trustee Jones, to make it hospitable for us to serve our guests from out of Sauk Village that came to the village. They left with a great admiration for Sauk Village. So the Unity in the Community concert was wonderful. People have different videos, and I said, send them to me. Some of them have not. So as I get them, they'll be up on my Facebook page and available. But we are definitely grateful for all of those that did participate. Just like I say, so many people that came to make it a positive event. Dr. Lee came and of course spoke, and Mr. Jeremiah Johnson, the school district, they were all there. So we just had a great representation from all throughout the village. With that being said, I want to let people know that we were not able to pass out the decals, the little orange and black decals that we have that go in residence homes and on the businesses. People raised their hands, they wanted those decals, but we do have them. So we're going to have some here at the Village Hall, and I will also have some available, and if people want one for their house or businesses want a new one for their business, they can contact Neighborhood Watch, Trustee Myers and myself, and they can get one because we have plenty. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Trustee, again, I don't know if we talked since, but I apologize for not being able to attend. I was out of town. As I pulled up, everyone was leaving, so I did get to talk to Trustee Myers in the parking lot as he was loading his van up. But when I got there, it looked like there was still a good turnout. So
It was great.
I appreciate the Neighborhood Watch community.
And I have to thank the custodians at the school because they worked with us with the sound, with the chairs. George, I give you a big shout out. You're the best.
Thank you very much. Move to Budget, Finance, and Community Relations Committee. Trustee Williams Page.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a couple of things. All the trustees should have received in their boxes the available cash balance that our finance director, Mohan Rao, put in your boxes. And also, the student government date change, there's a date change of April 25th. Just want to let everybody know, we reported earlier that it was going to be at a different date, but we changed the date till April 25th. Again, Student Government Day historically has been around the anniversary of the village, which the village clerk stated was last Sunday. But in recent times, it's been changed to move back to April because of testing. And that's the case with the high school as well, so we had to move the date to April 25th. Last week, as chair of the Public Relations Committee and editor of the Sauk Talk, an email was sent out to the candidates for the candidate survey. It was sent out last week Tuesday, and all candidates were supposed to reply by 5 p.m. today. As of this time, and I just checked my email, we had 2 candidates that were trustees that sent an incorrect format. We had 2 people who sent it to the wrong email address. One was trustee, one was village clerk. 2 people sent their surveys late. Those are both trustees, and 2 people did not send surveys at all. And those are mayoral candidates. So, before, at 5 o'clock, actually at 5:10, I emailed the rest of my committee to see how we wanted to proceed, because at this point, there was only a few candidates who had followed all of the instructions, sent it in the correct format, sent it by the time, sent it to the right email address. So, it was a unanimous decision to extend a 24-hour extension so that everybody could get their survey in, because we want to make sure that we provide the information to the residents. So at this point in time, there are 2, the candidates who had the incorrect format, they have been informed and they have sent back. The candidates who had the incorrect email, they have been informed. The village clerk candidate did respond back correctly. The trustee candidate has not responded back correctly. And the 2 trustees that were late, I actually did not get the email from my other committee member until about 10 minutes ago. So after the meeting, I will email the candidates that sent their emails late and let them know that we did approve a 24-hour extension. But for the 2 people who did not submit their surveys, if the other mayoral candidates could please submit their surveys by tomorrow at 5 p.m., we would greatly appreciate it, because again, we want to make sure that all of the candidates running in this election do have the ability to say what they have to say and let the residents know. Trustee Washington.
question. I have a problem with the format as well, and I thought that we received a hard copy and that we could just submit the hard copy. We were having a problem electronically. So although we did get a hard copy, you don't want the hard copy, you want it electronically.
No, because we don't want to, and just like with the Sauk Talk, we want everything electronically because we cut and paste. We don't want anybody saying that you meant to say there, T-H-E-R-E, and it probably should have been like T-H-E-Y''R-E, and we might have changed it, but that might not have been what you wanted to do, so that's why we don't mess with grammar, we don't mess with wording, we cut and we paste. So that's why we require things electronically. Again, and I know that some people were confused about how to submit it because we sent a form, a Word document with lines provided, and that's what you got the printed out copy so you could write. But what I was suggesting to people is each item has a header, name, age, occupation, whatever. You could put name, Rosie Williams Perry. You know, and you, instead of using that form, you can just open up a different Word document, and as long as we know what answer goes to what question, which I mean, it's not that hard to figure out, we will definitely take those answers and put them in there. But that's how we do that.
Last question. Are we mandated to fill out all of the questions, or can we only fill in what we want to?
You can only fill in what you want to.
Okay, thank you.
Only one question on there does say optional, and that's the age one. But, I mean, we're not going to put a gun in your head if you don't want to put your address. If you
No,
don't want to put your
I've had my
application.
home put up on the internet. I just don't want to put my address out there again.
That's
There are
great.
some things I don't want to put on there. But whatever we submit, can you just submit that? And
Yes.
whatever we didn't put, then that means we just didn't want it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Rosie, I tried to send it back. I couldn't send the document back. I was able to transmit just the answer, and you said you would accept that.
I got it.
Okay.
You weren't one of those people I talked about. I got yours yesterday. Yeah. But no, I got yours and I got a few other people's on time. And we just had some people who were, I think, maybe not understanding, like they were sending bios and campaign literature instead of the questions. And we chose those specific questions so that it was a level playing field. Every person was asked the same questions. Every person would be able to answer their answers for those same questions. So that's why we did that. But again, tomorrow by 5 p.m., that's the latest we can do because we do want to have the Sauk Talk out and in people's hands, especially since there's forum information in there to let people know that we're having a forum. So we want to make sure that people have that information. So please, tomorrow by 5.
All right, thank you, Trustee. Move to
So this is the format that you sent us. You want us to type on this and send this right back to you?
I have good eyes, but I can't see that far. But okay.
Use your
Let's look at
intuition.
something else.
I'm blowing it up.
I would suggest a follow-up just to verify after the meeting.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
All right. Move to new business. I have item A, motion to approve accounts payable and disbursements for March 1st, 2017 through March 14th, 2017, according to Sauk Village policy. Trustee Burgess.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we accept the accounts payable with the exception to put item invoice number 18243, 18381, and 18793 on hold until proper documentation has been presented to the board.
We have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And Williams Bay. Yes. This is no to the motion to hold. Right. Motion to accept. Repeat that motion again, please. Make sure I have it right. Motion to accept accounts payable with the exception to put items number 18243, 18381, 18793 on hold until proper identification.
Documentation. Documentation.
Or invoices, however you want to call it.
Documentation is presented to the board.
Is that it, everyone? I think motion carries. All right, move to item B, motion to approve resolution authorizing and directing the submission of an application to the County of Cook requesting invest in Cook County grant funds for the Village of Sauk Village. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee?
I'm reading the second sentence that requesting invest in Cook County.
Yes. Okay, I know I wasn't here last week, and I understand there was some confusion about this, and that's the only reason I asked Jim to be here tonight. So what we have is, we applied for a federal grant for Coronel starting at Sauk Trail, going up to 223rd Street, from 223rd Street all the way to Torrance Avenue, so it's a great big large L. That federal grant was an 80-20, if I remember right, matching grant. 20% was to come from our MFT funds. This is a grant investing in Cook County that will cover our 20%. So we're applying for this grant, and that would mean that Sauk Village would be out no money for that whole entire street. It would be covered 80% by federal funding, 20% by county funding. So hopefully I cleared that up. And again, I had Jim here just to make sure if there was any questions I couldn't answer. But I think Robinson Engineering has been working on this for us. So they worked hard on getting the federal funding, and then they've worked hard on getting the county authorization. We also have, just so I'm clear, Jim, just verify, we have a letter from the school district that's in favor of this also, because this goes right in front of Strasburg schools. So this is going to help 223rd Street by the schools. So a letter of support. All right, any other questions? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Jones?
Abstain.
Myers?
Yes.
States?
Yes.
Washington House?
Yes.
Williams-Bright? Yes. Burgess?
Yes.
Motion carries. Have item C, a motion to approve a resolution authorizing and directing the submission of an application to the County of Cook, Illinois, requesting community development block grant funds for the program year 2017 for the Village of Sauk Village. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
We got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
We got a motion, second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Myers?
Yes.
States?
Yes.
Washington House?
Yes.
Williams-Bright? Yes. Burgess?
Yes.
Jones?
Abstain.
Motion carries. Item D, motion to approve committee meeting minutes for February 21st, 2017. Is there a motion to approve? Got a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Yeah, motion is second. Any questions or comments?
Question.
Trustee Burgess.
Mayor, I didn't get a chance to finish reading the update, so I'm going to have to just vote present on that because I didn't get a chance to finish reading the update that was given.
All right, thank you. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
February 21st.
Well, that was February 8th. You're correct. No, you're correct. It was February 8th. Okay.
So we're asking for February 21st. So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Jones?
Yes.
Myers?
Yes.
States?
No.
Washington House?
Yes.
Williams-Bright? Yes. Burgess?
No.
All right, motion carries. Yeah. Motion carries. Item E, motion to approve regular board meeting minutes for February 28th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
Myers? States?
No.
Washington House?
Yes.
Williams-Bright? Yes. Burgess?
Present.
Jones?
Yes.
Motion carries. Move to item F, motion to approve committee meeting minutes for March the 7th, 2017. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Yeah, we got a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, Village Clerk, please call roll.
States?
No.
Washington House?
Yes.
Williams-Bright? Yes. Burgess?
No.
Jones?
Abstain.
And Myers?
Yes.
Abstain goes with the department. So, all right, just in case, we'll say the mayor votes in affirmative. All right, move to item number 7, miscellaneous comments from the mayor and board of trustees. Start with trustee Williams-Bright. Nothing? Trustee Myers.
I have one question that, I know that we went through the county payable, the telephone situation is that how can a small department of 2 members pay more than a large department of 15, 20 members? Is that based out, is it just divided equally, last time we were told that the telephone, is equally divided. That's still what we're doing, and,
I'm not aware of any changes if you're talking about the Cal House situation.
no, sir, I'm talking about the telephone, the cell phones we have amongst the departments. I noticed, today that, there's one department, which is, emergency services, has 2 people, and they're charging almost $500, and the, fire department has 20-some odd people, and it has cell phones, and they're only charged $300 something. I don't know, now, is it by the usage, or is it by what? Is there any chance you can look at that for me?
I can look at it, but I can garner a guess, and I'm pretty sure it's accurate. That is based on usage, but I'll look at it.
And the other thing is, Mr. Mayor, is we're purchasing a program for the Calcom, for the fire department to use it. I'm sorry. Are we purchasing a program, the final stage for the fire department? It's called Firehouse. Or I know we had it years ago. Then New World came involved, and then that went out the door. Then we went to Spillman and some other ones we're going to. Now under the new program, which they're supposed to keep constantly updating it. It's Firehouse. It's a program. I talked to the chief, a couple of different chiefs today, and we don't have Firehouse on board, but yet it was told that we had everything ready to go for the kickoff date. Is there something I don't know, or is there a chance that we can look into it and find out? Matter of fact, my computer board in my car is blank. It has no computer. So there's a couple of things there that we need to do if we're going to go kick this date off.
So I'll try to answer that question. I'll certainly look into it. Let me say this much. First of all, we thought, so clarification of the board, we thought that we were going to have to have another system installed based on us not having capers later on. We found out, I had a meeting with Gerald and myself, went over and talked to Calcom. We did not have to do that. So we were getting bids from the young lady that provided the machines in there, the copier machines. I think it was Proven Group, and we found out that we really didn't need to buy anything. What we did find out, and Gerald thought it was a lot cheaper than what we thought we would, is we have to Firehouse so that you guys can use the computer system as similar to everybody else. I think it was less, like $6,000 or something less. We thought it was going to be $30,000. So I can check that and verify it, but that's what I understand. Right?
Basically, it gives us the capability of talking to one another. That's it. Our computer system we have now, just not going to.
Well, you're getting into the technical part. Now we'll have to make sure we get the answer correctly from Gerald. I'm not waiting it out, but I'll look into it and give you the answer.
Please check and let me know when you find that out, sir. Thank you.
All right.
Trustee Tates?
My question or comment surrounds the use of cell phones. I raised this several months ago, and Trustee Myers has picked up on some discrepancy in how cell phone, $10,000 delinquent in cell phone bills, and the fact that former employees still had cell phones, which the village was paying for. And thirdly, that we have cell phones that we're paying for that have not been assigned. And that was raised maybe 3 months ago and still has not been resolved, and I still have not received any answers to it, so be it. But the cell phone issue is something that's serious. Mayor, maybe you can answer this in your comments. We had voted to pay $200,000 for computer equipment, and this was perhaps a year ago. And I recently was told that we did not purchase $200,000 worth of equipment that we leased computers. And I think that this is an issue that should have come back before the, if true, should have come back before the board, so the board would know that we're not purchasing computers, we're leasing them, and for a time period that is. But that's a discrepancy that I think that needs to be addressed. That's all I have.
All right. Trustee Jones?
Parks and Recs has several events coming up. If you would like to volunteer, we are always looking for volunteers. Summer program, we have varying hours for the summer program. Please contact the Village Hall, leave me a voicemail, or talk to me after the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Washington House.
Thank you, Mayor. I was wanting to make sure that I mentioned that at the Unity in the Community, we had Ms. Tina and her line dancers that were there. They did a fabulous job as well. They did 3 different selections at the beginning and at the end, and they were great. I just wanted to send a shout out to them, as well as we had a young lady there that did a Janet Jackson impersonation with Rhythm Nation. The concert was just wonderful. The community is still talking about it. Neighborhood Watch, that's what we do. We watch out for our community. We watch out for our blocks. We try to get block club captains to watch on the blocks where they live, to remind their neighbors to turn their front and back porch lights on. And we do things to try to bring the community together. We did a play last year that was a great success. We did this free concert this year. So I just want to thank my committee, my president, vice president, my co-chair, secretary, all the block club captains, the school districts, the library, everyone that come on board with Neighborhood Watch to do something to get involved to make the program a success. All of us working together really do make the program great. And we know that working together, we will win together. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Burgess.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to remind everyone, town hall meeting will be tomorrow here at 7 o'clock. Please come out and voice your concerns. And also, Mayor and Board, I'd just like to congratulate one of our own. The reason why this person wasn't here at the last Village Board meeting, Trustee Jones, has an addition to his family, and I'd just like to congratulate him. If you notice, he's wearing glasses, so it must be late nights. Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Trustee. Real quick, the $200,000 for the computer equipment, I would have to look into. I don't remember exactly, what we did as a village, so I'll look into that. In fact, JW, if you can give me an answer on that, please. March 18th, this is this Saturday. There's a few things going on. We'll have our last Meet the Mayor prior to the election. As of right now, it'll probably be the last Meet the Mayor, because after the next election, we'll let the next mayor decide if they want to have them. But it will be here from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, depending on either being in the senior center or being in the hallway. Since my wife's here, maybe we can try to get her to make some cupcakes for the last one. So rather than me telling her on Friday night I need cupcakes. So again, everyone can come out. We kind of want to, as the last one, kind of let the village residents know exactly what we've done in the last 4 years. There's a lot of things that as we sit down, we start penning on exactly what we've done, as a community and under this administration. A lot of things have happened. So, as going out, again, as most of you know, I'm retiring from politics. I'm stepping down, and we were going through it the other day. 18 years as being an elected official. But other than that, I've got another 10 years on top of it being in community service, from everything from sitting on committees and commissions. So 28 years, I've been involved in the community. And it just give me a little bit more time now with my family and hopefully some grandkids coming up. And again, it was a hard decision. I enjoy doing this. And some people, crack under pressure. I love the pressure. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've been trying over the last few months to pass things off to department heads, because you figure the first 2 years, we ran this mayor doing everything on my own. I didn't have a village administrator, so there was a lot of work. So I've been passing a lot of stuff off to the department heads that handles there. So when the next administration comes in, we will make it as smooth a transition as possible. I assure everyone, no matter who takes this position, I'm not going anywhere. I plan on living in Sauk Village. We have a house established. We've had all of our kids here. So we're not going anywhere. I'm going to be open for the next administration because it's important that our community continues to move forward. It's important that our community continues to prosper. So, again, this Saturday, if you've got some free time, come on out so we can show you what actually has happened in the last 4 years, because we forget. You know, I was talking to some residents, you forget about those cardboard signs that were sitting on the corner of 394 and Sauk Trail when we first came in office, and you don't see anymore. You know, some people forget about the businesses that we've had come into Sauk Village over the years. I just talked to JW today, or yesterday, you know, the old Chicago Air Power. I see we got a new sign up that says Future Homes. That means we got another business coming into Sauk Village, another one. So we're following up with Sherry to find out exactly what the business is, have they got their licenses yet. But again, filling vacant buildings has been a main concern, especially in our industrial areas. So everything to just recently, the expansion of WinPAC. If you haven't driven over into TIF area number 3, take a drive over and take a look at WinPAC. Think about that's in Sauk Village. When you drive through that area, you know, we've got one of these sites here in Sauk Village that the northwest suburbs wish they had. So, you know, we have something here in Sauk Village. Again, that new site there, the addition they're putting on 100 new jobs. You know, so again, we're working with WinPAC for when it opens up. It's probably going to open up after I'm gone. So the next mayor will be able to get in there. But again, we're still working with them to try to make sure that Sauk Village residents get first right for jobs. That's important to make sure that we fill jobs, not only just for Sauk Village residents, but for the south suburbs. We need jobs in the south suburbs. It's hard keeping businesses here in Cook County and Illinois. You hear every day businesses are leaving almost by the hour, leaving Illinois. We've been able to retain and recruit. JW just went out and was recruiting. We're still recruiting businesses to come to Sauk Village. You know, and if they're not here before I leave office, or if they haven't broke ground before I leave office, we're going to make sure we pass it on to the next mayor, so that, you know, our community continues to grow. So again, this coming Saturday from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, we're just going to kind of share with the residents what we've done. And I kind of got a nod and a smile, so it looks like Linda's going to make some cupcakes for us. So if not, I got 3 daughters sitting back there that can give her a hand. Also, stick around after the Meet the Mayor. We've got the chili cook-off happening that day. So it's always a great time for that. So the 18th, there's a lot of things going on here at the Village Hall. With that said, I would ask for a motion to adjourn. Got a motion here, second. Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you. Bye.